Good evening. Here's Juliet Piper with the HTV News.
Good evening from HTV News. New details have emerged about last week's fatal explosion at the Port Talbot Steelworks. It's been revealed to HTV News that the lining of the blast furnace remained intact. Instead, the investigation is focusing on a critical expansion joint. With this exclusive report, here's our business editor, Nick Partridge.
A week on from the explosion in the number 5 blast furnace at Port Talbot, and an idea of exactly what happened last Thursday is beginning to emerge, although the area around the ruined furnace remains cordoned off as an official police investigation site. But experts have gained limited access and now believe they've established two vital facts. The breakout of molten metal which occurred is unprecedented anywhere in the world, and this is what they believe happened, although they still can't say why. Think of a blast furnace as a giant egg, with the top and bottom sections effectively connected by an expansion joint known as the lap plate. What appears to have happened in the number 5 furnace is an explosion so violent it lifted the top section of the furnace, allowing gases and molten metal to spew out. This section then twisted and fell back, slightly out of alignment. It's this separation of the furnace which is unprecedented in the steel industry worldwide. Experts have also found that the shell of the furnace remains intact, which presumably means there was no failure of the lining, which was the initial subject of speculation and concern. Meanwhile, the fallout from the tragedy continues. A respected commentator on the Welsh economy believes the disaster could herald the end of iron and steel making in South Wales.
With the blast furnaces going at Llanwern, there's only one in operation in Port Talbot, which means that steel making in Wales is hanging by a gossamer thread. And therefore we have to look at things very, very carefully indeed in the next 18 months. There's going to be overproduction of steel, and it could be that Chorus will say we want to stay in Wales, but we can't justify the investment, and it could well be the end of steel making. It wasn't planned, but it could happen.
Tonight, though, Chorus remains adamant its intention is to return output at Port Talbot to the level before the accident. Nick Partridge, HTV News.
They're preying on some of the most vulnerable in our society, and they've struck over 40 times in the last 3 months. A gang of thieves are robbing pensioners in South Wales, posing as police officers, water board officials or delivery men.
All we would ask really is for people to be vigilant. We certainly don't want to scare people, but for them to be aware that this is happening at the moment, and should they have any information, to contact us as a matter of urgency.
The trial of a doctor accused of indecently assaulting patients has been halted. Retired consultant Brian Phillips from the Gower denies the indecent assault of 10 women over a 10-year period. The trial was stopped for legal reasons. A coroner's recorded a verdict of misadventure into the death of a baby at the centre of the Alderhay organ scandal. Kaylee Valentine from Wrexham died after a heart operation. Her parents are angry they've had to wait so long to know how she died.
It's just such a shame that we've had to wait 11 years to find out the cause of Kaylee's death. It would have been nicer if they would have told us when she died instead of putting us through this ordeal for 11 years.
It may be almost winter, but tourism bosses say it's not too late to attract visitors to Wales. It follows today's reopening of Pen y Fan in the Brecon Beacons, but many in the industry say the outlook remains uncertain. Rugby, and just when all attention should be focused on tomorrow's Wales-Tonga game, another skeleton has emerged from Welsh rugby's closet. Adrian Hadley has admitted that he took amphetamines before a Five Nations clash with Scotland in 1986.
Had a bit of flu coming, heavy cold. I just didn't feel very well. Obviously speaking to a couple of other players, and was offered a tablet that just picked me up a bit.
And that's it from us this evening. Giles Smith is here tomorrow with all the news and sport action. Until then, from the Late Night News team, bye-bye.
Hello, watch out for mist and fog tonight if you're out and about. There could be the odd dense patch in sheltered spots inland. Apart from that, it's dry but generally cloudy tonight. Temperatures dipping to 4 or 5 Celsius where that cloud manages to break, but elsewhere 6 or 7. Tomorrow morning doesn't look too bad though. Quite dull and grey at first, but eventually there'll be some weak and watery sunshine struggling through, and really when the sun comes out it'll feel okay. Top temperatures by mid-afternoon tomorrow, 9 Celsius well inland, generally 11 or 12. So nothing to stop us getting out and about. It's the Anglesey Young Farmers Annual Eisteddfod at Ysgol David Hughes at Porthaethwy. That's Menai Bridge. That starts at 3, and of course plenty of opportunities to get on with the Christmas shopping. In Prestatyn, the Trinity Methodist Church Fair starts at 11 o'clock, and at the other end of the country in the South Wales Valleys, the Talawain Bazaar opens its doors at 2. Meanwhile, St Gabriel's Church in Bryn Road, Swansea, say they haven't got any camel rides, but you can have your photo taken with Santa, and you can win a snowman at the Ebbw Vale Scouts Fair. That's in the Peniel headquarters from 1:30. In Pontypridd, they'll be rolling up their sleeves at Coed y Lan Comprehensive for a charity car wash between 10 and 2 tomorrow. Just £2 per car and no rain to spoil it either. And tomorrow evening at 7:30, the Haverfordwest Male Voice Choir is giving a concert at Sir Thomas Picton School. Hope all those events get lots of support. Sunday's the day to catch your breath then. The same sort of weather situation, early morning mist and low cloud giving way to hazy sunny spells, and we keep the quiet weather at the beginning of the next week. Wednesday brings some sunshine, wind and rain on Thursday. Good night.